What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Nick, and today we're going to talk about Billboard's greatest pop stars of the 21st century. Right? We are not even close to done with the century, but I guess they was like, well, we're going to do from 2000 to 2025. So, yeah, that is cool with me. Let's jump right into this. Okay, first and foremost, I want to say this. I am not in no way, shape, or form mad at the list. I knew that the top two was going to be Taylor or Beyonce. Because to me, who else would there be that has shaped music the way that they have? But I want to get into a little something because I see there's people who are in their feelings. Particularly, I'm a Swiftie myself. I am officially a Swiftie, and I love Taylor Swift, and I'm also a Beehive member. I love Beyonce. When you look at that list, I took a look at it, right? So this is the list. Wait. I'm gonna bring up the list real quick. I just want to bring this up so we can see. We have Beyonce at number 1, Taylor Swift at number 2, Rihanna at number 3, 4 Drake, 5 Gaga, 6 Britney Spears, 7 Kanye West, 8 Justin Bieber, 9 Ariana Grande, 10 Adele. Now, this is what I want to say about this list. I want you to pay attention to one thing, and I want to explain to people why numbers are irrelevant. Then you have to go through each and every one of these artists. Rihanna has more number ones than all of these people on this entire list. She has 14. Beyonce has 9. Taylor Swift has sold more than every single person on this list. In fact, Beyonce is right behind Taylor Swift with 249 million records sold, and I think she is at 260 something million records sold. When you look at this list, you question how is Adele number 10, Justin Bieber being number 8. So you kind of start to wonder, what the hell is this criteria? Well, I'm going to tell you the criteria, and let me explain to you. This is staffers. These are other people's opinions. So honestly, you shouldn't really take these lists really that serious. But I'll tell you this 100%. If I was to make my list, it probably will look very similar to this top 4. And I would have Beyonce at number 1 for a few reasons. Because her entire impact on the industry, because she has numbers. She's in the 200 million bracket. You know what I mean? So we can't say this woman has not. This woman does her numbers. But I just want to point out that the things that she has done in the music industry, nobody else has done. She had only one black president, and she was chosen to do their first inauguration dance. Beyonce, that is a stamp in history. Nobody can ever have that moment. Beyonce is also, she has a very big influence on half, if not more, of these people on this list. If I move on to Taylor Swift, Kanye West did some stuff.
But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time
back then. And Beyonce said that she remembered when she was younger, getting the MTV award was one of the biggest things of her life when she was 17 years old. So she bought out Taylor Swift and let her have a moment. You know what I'm saying? Let her have her moment. Let her have her moment to shine, since she got interrupted for winning something. This woman, that is number 1, that people argue down that shouldn't probably be number 1, did that for number 2. And look at where number 2 is, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is she is the most popular person in the world. She is a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? And she works hard. You know what I'm saying? You can't outsell Taylor Swift. I don't care what you do. You cannot outsell this woman. She will always outsell you. That is just a T. That's just period. Then when you look at number 3, you look at Rihanna. Truth is if we were going by numbers, right? Taylor Swift or Beyonce don't have more Hot 100 number 1 hits than she does, right? Then let's move on to Drake. I'm going to point to you again why numbers don't matter. Drake is tied with Michael Jackson, and he has the most number 1 singles by a rap artist, more debuted singles on the rap charts in history and on the Hot 100. So we have to look at those things. So why I bring that up is because of those factors, will we put them over somebody like Prince? If Prince was here in this top 10 list, which has Gaga, Britney Spears, Kanye West, Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, and Adele, there's no doubt about that we would have Prince number one because it's Prince, right? Prince is a phenomenon, musician, cultural impact like there is nobody's business. It brings you back to why Beyonce is number one. Because at some point, every single number will be passed, but the things that you have done in the industry cannot. When that self-titled album Beyonce dropped, it shifted the culture. It did. It shifted. Her peers went wild on her. Katy Perry, JoJo, everybody went nuts. Don't talk to me. This album is, you know what I'm saying? It went bananas. This is why there is always a big deal when she's nominated and she doesn't win. There's an anticipation because she has put out a body of work and she doesn't win that award. You know what I mean? But she wins everything else. I also want to take into account too, because people think this does not matter. I've said this countless of times. Beyonce is also a black woman. You want to know why that means something? Because look at what she's going against now. She is going against racism right now as we speak, as we talk. She's going through racism where people are calling her all kinds of names. And no, this is not just, because I'll speak for Swifties. This is not all Swifties. This is a part of Swifties that I don't claim and I don't think nobody else claim. I ain't got nothing to do with them, weirdos that do that shit. I'm a part of a much better Swiftie section. You know what I'm saying? The truthful one, the honest one, the one that actually loves Taylor Swift for what she does. But when you look at, like I said before, stuff like what Beyonce has done, the national anthem. She has performed at the Super Bowl, I think more than anybody that has ever performed at the Super Bowl. When you think of Coachella, when you think of performance, you think of Beyonce. I think Stephen A. Smith said it best. We have some of the greatest singers of all time. We have some of the greatest dancers of all time. But who could do both really well? Where you can actually say this is one of the greatest singers and one of the greatest dancers. You don't really hear that since Michael. You know what I mean? So when we talk about numbers and stuff like that, each person that's on this list is above in some kind of a way. There is still not an album on this top 10 that has outsold Adele's 21. Adele's 21 is still like the leader. That's like past Diamond now. Past Diamond. That we almost thought that was going to be the one that was going to catch up to Thriller. But they got Justin Bieber ahead of Adele. Why is Britney here? Britney is Britney. She inspired a lot of women. These people on this list were influenced by number one. Taylor Swift already said it. If it wasn't for the road that she paved for people like her. Rihanna, number 3, came in and said that Beyonce was her biggest inspiration. Drake said he wanted to work with Beyonce, and he has a poster of Beyonce hanging in his studio. He has a poster of Beyonce hanging in his studio. Lady Gaga wanted to sing because she saw Destiny's Child and said she wanted to be just like that. Britney Spears, Halo being one of her favorite songs. Again, she has cultural songs. Freedom was played during this whole political campaign. Freedom was not a number one hit. Freedom wasn't even charted, I don't believe. I think it was charted because all of them charted from Lemonade. But then when you go to Lemonade, you think about the phenomenon of that. You heard Adele get on stage and say, I can't accept this award. The big buzz around the world has been Lemonade. So Beyonce has always had to face some kind of backlash racism stuff because you know, people don't necessarily want to give her the awards because, hey, she won too many. If you don't believe that the racism stuff exists when it comes to her, just look at the CMAs. They shut her completely out and said, basically, like, you're not welcome here. While the guy came out and said she is. We know what you did the first time. Y'all used her. Y'all got the highest view that y'all have ever gotten in CMA history. And then because of racist people coming in, y'all decided to take it down. That's bullcrap. And then she has 0 nominations. Now, she has the most nominations in Grammy Award history. The most nominations for an album in Grammy Award history. And she still has the most Grammys in history. Now, that can be passed up. Again, it's just numbers. When Beyonce stops doing music, then that's going to stop. I also would like to point out, too, that Beyonce barely does promo. So what you get is what you get. So when people say, well, where's Cowboy Carter at? It's not on the that's because she made one music video. But you know what can't be taken away from her? What you can't bypass, this is not a number. You can't bypass the fact that she is the first artist to have a country album by a black artist be #1 on the country charts and on the Hot 100 charts. A country song. And that's a record that cannot be broken. I'm just letting people know, like, if you have any doubt and reason why she is #1, though we haven't even delved into the fact that this woman is one of the greatest singers. And she's one of the greatest performers, if not the greatest performer that we have alive today. It has been said by her own peers. This woman has performed on stage with Prince. She's performed on stage with Tina Turner, Bono. She was a part of some of the most historical moments. She was the reason why the album release was moved to Friday because of that big album drop. We're talking about impact. These people look at her. She's called Queen Bee. They look at her. They shouldn't. As a god, they look at her like that. A lot of people say that. You don't never come for the queen. You don't argue with Beyonce because she's known to end careers. Remember, there's a whole TikTok about that because people always thanked her. Lizzo said that. Lizzo got up there and she thanked Beyonce for helping her out through her career, and she named the gospel medley. That's not too much out the realm of possibility. Adele said that's the artist of her life. She has been listening to her since she was in Destiny's Child. Why is #1 being argued? That is the most unarguable spot for a person. You can argue anything else down, but that's a spot that you can't argue. The truth is somebody could come along, Sabrina Carpenter. It'll take you a long time. Sabrina Carpenter got to be in here as long as Taylor Swift, but she could take Taylor Swift's spot as having the highest tour or something like that. Taylor would have to have something to back that up. And I can argue many cases that she, as a songwriter, would be one of the John Lennons of our time. You can argue about other things besides charts that don't make sense. You can argue that Taylor Swift is what brings a whole bunch of families together. Her positivity. She has never wavered in that stuff. She has never wavered in that. There's a whole reason why Taylor Swift is #2, and there's a lot of reasons why she could have been #1. And I want to carry it either way. Because 2 and 1 are really the best spots. 2 and 1 is the best spots. I mean, we were talking about the greatest pop stars of the 21st century. 1 and 2 is, I mean, hell. We ain't even done with the century. The 21st century, that's fair. She's the fastest rising star on this list to get there. How is Justin Bieber over Usher? How is Justin Bieber over Justin Timberlake? Right? So if we was to go there, then we have to go there. But a cultural impact, being an African American woman, every last one of them performances that she has done that made us go bananas, that made Chance the Rapper say, she is the greatest of all time, better than MJ. That came out of his mouth. A lot of us might not agree with that, but that's what he said. That's what he felt. She's the most respected by her peers. That's outside of her group. when she started in 1996 opening for SWV and doing all this other stuff. So yeah, Beyonce deserves number one. She has paved the way for everybody on this list. In this top 10, she has paved the way for everybody on this list. You can find it all on YouTube. So with that said, I wouldn't take the list extra seriously, but if I was to make my list, it would have been no different. It would have been no different. You know what I'm saying? Breaking all of these molds as an African American woman. People also, they talk about writing, but forgetting that Beyonce has also written some of the greatest music in Destiny's Child on her own. Survivor is a very inspirational song. That was written completely by Beyonce, by herself. Independent Woman, all of that was written by her. Bootylicious was written by her. She's also the first African American to be inducted in the ACAP, what is it? ACCAP or whatever it's called. Pop Songwriter Hall of Fame. She's the first African American to get inducted in that for Independent Woman. That's all I got to say about this list, man. If you don't understand why Beyonce is number one, I just gave you a slew of reasons why. This woman has been in it. She has turned the game upside down with some of the most innovative music videos in the past, with some of the most creative moments with her albums that made a whole lot of artists follow suit. And it just, she has done other things like movies. She's a Golden Globe nominee, multiple time Golden Globe nominee. You know, so yeah, Beyonce being number one from 2000 to 25, she is almost eligible. She's a Hollywood Walk of Fame with Destiny's Child. And this woman is just a few years short of being eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She's been out since 1997. Opened for SWV in 96. This woman has a very long career. And she's still relevant. And the two songs, at the age of 43 with 3 kids, she has 2 number one songs that has no feature on it. That's all I gotta say. I don't want to talk too long about this list. But I think for the most part, I like the top 3. I think the 3 is accurate. I would say Taylor Swift has passed Rihanna now, because the arguments that I make about Beyonce, I don't think that you can make the argument about Rihanna inspiring a whole lot of, I mean, I'm sure she inspired a lot of people, but Taylor has that over her 100%. So yes. I also want to mention that Beyonce also bought out Chloe and Halle. No matter, we know who they are. Halle playing the Little Mermaid. Those are Beyonce's artists, and she let them do whatever they wanted to do. But that's all I got to say about that. Thank y'all so much. I just wanted to explain to y'all my thoughts on who should be number one and who should be number 2. Until the next video, I love y'all so much. I didn't realize I had that thing on the entire time. Peace out.